Hey everyone, I hope that you guys are doing amazing wherever you are. My name is Boom Shikha. And before I start off, if you guys want notifications on all these videos, click that little bell, that alarm bell looking thing, and so you'll get notifications on each of my posts. Instead of just subscribing, you'll actually get notified every time I post something new. And so if you see that little bell, then click that and then you'll get notifications, yeah? Because a lot of people have been asking me, when are you going to post next? And I'm like, you know what, just click that bell, no, YouTube will tell you. In today's video, I wanted to speak to you guys about how and I think it's an INFJ trait, I'm not really sure, but I'm just going to talk about me in general because this is all I know. I dislike, I don't like using the word hate because it's too strong, I dislike clinginess. Now, it might be a shadow of mine, it might just be because I sometimes exhibit clinginess, and so when I see it in other people, it kind of triggers something in me. But a lot of times when I have people in my life and, we're empathic, right, as INFJs, and so I see them as they are, and I'm, there for them, and I'm like, kind to them and generous with my time and whatever it might be, because I see something in them that needs help, and I'm like, I can help you for a few days, few hours, whatever, and then hopefully you'll be strong enough to stand on your own 2 feet. But what happens is that what happens with people when they find people like us, like when they find an INFJ, they're like limpets. You know how like they have like on the bottoms of the ships, they have these things that cling on and you have to kind of literally like use a plier or something to wedge them off? Basically, that's what happens with people with INFJs. They see that, there's this person who really cares about me, who really sees me, who really wants me to be the best version of myself. They really like me, they seem to like me, they're really charming, things like that. Not boasting again, like it's just the way it is. I've noticed that several times. And so what'll happen with those people is that they start clinging to us, and so they'll be messaging us 24 times a day, asking us a billion different questions. And then they want to hang out every single day, and they want to, talk on the phone all the time. You hate talking on the phone, don't call me on the phone, I'm going to ignore it. And so they do all of these things, and I'm just thinking to myself, what are you doing? Like, am I your mother? Am I your best friend on this planet? No, because I don't have best friends. And I'm not going to spend that much time with you because I have other things to do. And mostly what happens with these people are their really energy sucks because they don't know how to be with themselves. They don't know how to be alone. They haven't analyzed themselves like we have. They don't know how to be on their own. They can't sit in a room by themselves without the music playing or TV running in the background or them calling someone and telling them about their miserable story. And so they're always talking about themselves. So obviously they're very narcissistic. But they also need someone to kind of talk to. They can't just be talking to themselves. Whereas INFJs, we're great at talking to ourselves. I spend all day talking to myself. So it's fine. Like I'll be walking on the street and I'm sure I'm that crazy person who's talking to herself. I pretend I'm singing, so I'll have like earbuds on and I'm like, no, I'm not really singing. I'm actually talking to myself. And what I'm doing is I'm convincing myself to get rid of that narcissistic person, mostly. It's like, oh my God, that person is really draining me. I can't deal with that person anymore. What am I going to do now? They think that we're best friends for some reason. I have no idea why. Just because I give a little bit of time to them? Come on, I'm so tired. What am I going to do to get rid of that person? And so then what we do is that we go to the other extreme, because we don't know how to say it. I'm sorry, like you're too negative. I can't be around you all the time. I helped you a little bit because that's who I am, and I'm an empath, I'm a counselor at heart, and so I did it, but that's it. Our relationship ends here. You need to go, stand on your own 2 feet, or find someone else to kind of limp onto or cling onto, because I am not that person. Even my parents and my family, I barely talk to them. I love them to death. That doesn't mean that I need to spend a lot of time with them. Even my partners, after a while of spending time with them, I get sick of them. I'm like, really, can you just go somewhere so I can be on my own? And that's one of the things I've discovered about myself is that I need to live on my own. Even if I'm in a relationship, I will always have my own apartment to go back to, because even if I spend a couple of days with them, eventually I will need my own space for 2 or 3 days or a week at a time, or maybe even a month or whatever it might be, right? So I always need to come back to my own space. And so I realized I always need to have my apartment, even with a partner. And so you can imagine if I'm like this with my family and friends who are like really truly precious to me, then you are a random stranger who just dropped into my life. I'm not going to give you that much attention and time Again, it might be pointed out as being selfish, but what's selfish about that? I'm taking care of my own needs. If I am not functioning at my 100%, then how am I going to give to the world, right? How is that going to happen? There's so many people who message me constantly saying, "Oh, you're so selfish." I'm thinking to myself, what is in you that's telling you to say these things to other people? Isn't that selfish of you to put your opinions on other people? I am doing this YouTube video because I'm creating this YouTube video. You don't have to listen to it, right? If you like it, listen to it. If you don't like it, switch it off and go to someone else. Go listen to something else, go do something else, do whatever you want. I'm pushing it out there because I want to, because I need to, because I have to, because I like to, right? Because I'm doing it from my own perspective. But if you don't agree with it, don't message me about it. I don't want to hear about it. No, I really don't. It's not like I'm saying that this is the end-all of be-all of opinions. I'm saying that this is how I behave and this is what I do. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that you do these things, because there's a wide array of INFJs as well out there, right? I mean, we're not the only ones, right? I'm not the only kind of INFJ out there, and you're not the only kind of INFJ out there, as we are 8 billion people on this planet, and I think 0.2% of the population is INFJ, or 1%, or whatever it might be. That's hundreds of thousands of people, right? And so there's going to be a lot of different varieties of us. Some of them will be very extroverted, some of them will be very introverted, some of them are going to be very suicidal, some of them are going to be really optimistic. These are all different ranges. So I'm saying this is what I am like. And perhaps you will relate to it, perhaps you won't. If you don't relate to it, just switch it off and go away, right? The same thing with this clinginess. Do not cling to me. Do not assume that I'm going to be there for you forever, because I'm not going to be there for you forever, actually. The reality of things is that I'm going to be with you for a few moments, like out of this long life that we have. You know, I'll give you what you need in that moment, because I feel like I've given to you, and I feel like you need it at that moment in time. So I'm really there for you at that point, right? But then that's it. Then our relationship is over, and you have to go and find a way of dealing with all this stuff on your own. On your own. Because if you don't stand up on your own 2 feet, if you don't understand how to live on your own, you're going to be lonely for the rest of your life. Because no matter if you're in a relationship, you're still going to be lonely. No matter if you are surrounded by people, you're still going to be lonely. That's what I've discovered with myself, is that other people can't make you happy. No matter how many people you're surrounded by, you still feel like the loneliest person on this planet. You could be in a relationship and still feel like so alone that you can't even bear the thought of being with that person anymore, because it makes you feel so alone, right? And so there's no point, guys. Don't look for other people. Don't cling to other people, because they're not going to give you what you need. You have to find it from within yourself. And that's the INFJ creed. The fact that, you know, we always tell people to find that answer or that meaning or that whatever it might be from inside within yourself. Because if you find it from outside yourself, it'll be a momentary respite from whatever you're looking for. Like if you're lonely and if you go have sex, if you have a one-night stand, cool, you got an endorphin rush, you did it. I love one-night stands, but I'm not saying anything about them. Nothing but sex. Please don't message me about that. This is an example. So you go out and you do it, and you go home and you feel empty. Why? Because you were looking for that joy or happiness from outside of yourself. And it's going to be, if anything you look from outside of yourself, it's going to be momentary. It's not going to last. If you do something from within yourself, you know, you meditate, or you go journal and you go deep within yourself and you figure out, where are my shadows, where are my triggers, what's going on within me, how am I going to deal with all this stuff, who am I, what is my purpose, what am I here for, what am I here to do, how can I serve this world, things like that. You start asking all those questions from within yourself, and you get the answers from within yourself. It's going to be more powerful. You're not going to need a constant influx of endorphins. You're not going to need a constant influx of carbs or sugar or caffeine or alcohol or drugs to make you happy, because you're going to have this effervescence, overflowing jug, overflowing something of happiness that's going to bubble up from the inside out. It's always going to be full. You're not going to have to refill it over and over again. Do you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I say things and they make sense in my own head, but perhaps they don't make sense to you guys. Let me know what you guys think about it. But I guess the reason I did this video is because I do feel sad for all those people who do cling to INFJ, or to cling to anyone, because they're in for a rude awakening, right? Like they're going to find out eventually that that person dies, or they leave, or they move to a different country, or they break up with them. And then what? And you're just left with nothingness. You're left with emptiness. You're left with a hole, a big, deep hole inside of you that nothing can fix, right? Nothing on the outside is going to fix that hole. A lot of people use food to fill that hole. No, it's not going to do it. You know, I know because I've used that technique. I've used food as a technique to fill that hole. I've used shopping as a technique to fill that hole. I've used relationships. I've used sex. I've used overworking, workaholism. I've used all of it. You know, I've done all of it. And alcoholism. I used to drink so much that I'd black out. Did that fill my hole? No. I still had that hole when I woke up in the morning, hungover as hell, sick to my stomach, feeling sick in my body, unable to feel what my body was really feeling because it was so disgusting, right? And so what happened there? Nothing. The hole was still there. Until I started meditating, until I started doing journaling, until I started yogaing, until I started doing all that work, inner work, all that work, you know, listening to my heart, figuring out what my shadows are, what are my triggers, why am I here? Why am I doing these YouTube videos? Why do you think I'm doing them, guys? Do you think I'm doing them because these are fun? Yeah, they are fun. But they're also my calling. They are something that I'm called to do. I love doing them because something inside of me, that little inner witness, that observer, or that little inner child of me is just joyful. She's just so happy when I do these videos. And I feel so grateful and so happy and alive when I do these videos. So that's the reason I'm doing them. It's a calling of mine. Not all calling has to be fighting, you know, poverty or eliminating sex trade or whatever like that. It's not all about the big stuff. It can be the small stuff as well. Doing these small videos every single day, they are part of my calling. Doing my podcast, you know, creating, writing so much amazing stuff, science fiction, all that I do, creating my own businesses. All that stuff is my calling, right? It makes me come alive. What is your stuff? You know, I just didn't figure it out like that. I've been working on figuring this stuff out for 10, 15, 20 years now, right? I actually had a thought the other day that I remember myself when I was 16 and I was graduating from grade 12 because I was in the Middle East and they graduate early there. And I was standing there after the graduation, I was standing there and I think to myself, and it's so clear that in my memory, I can still remember myself. I can see myself standing there and thinking to myself, now what? Now what am I going to do? I mean, I've gone through school and I was thinking to myself, I don't actually know what I want to do. I mean, I'll go to university and go to med school because my parents want me to do that, but I didn't know myself. I hadn't listened to my heart at all because I was so busy working on homework, doing all that crap, that I didn't know what I wanted to do. And I think right now, I'm 34, almost 20 years later, I know now. It doesn't mean that this is going to be the end all or be all. It might change. But right now, in this moment in time, I think it's taken me 15, 20 years to get to this point where I'm like, yeah, you know what? I know what I'm doing and I know why I'm here. But it took a lot of work, guys. Every single day, journaling, meditating every single day, doing a lot of yoga, talking to a lot of people, talking to myself, analyzing myself, analyzing my emotions, figuring out why I'm angry or sad or fearful or doubtful or anxious. What's going on? Why? Here, there. Like so many questions, so much work. And there's still so much work left to do. Yeah. I still have so much left, right? And so that's the reason I want to bring it up, is because if you're not doing that inner work, you're going to have that hole inside of you. It's like a hole in the heart. It's a hole inside of us. It's a hole in our spirit, right? And we can use all of these external things to fill it up, but it's not going to be filled up. It's not going to be filled up, guys. It's not. Alright, I think this is enough for one video. I hope that you guys have an amazing day wherever you are. Again, join my team on patreon.com/boomshikha if you're interested. If not, I'll talk to you guys the next time around, yeah? Bye for now!